You know what's wild? That massive pile of crunchy leaves you're about to bag up and throw away. Professional gardeners would literally pay money for that. I'm serious. While most people are treating fallen leaves like trash, there's a hidden method that transforms them into something garden centers sell for $15 a bag. And today I'm showing you exactly how to do it for absolutely nothing, with zero heavy lifting or complicated steps. Welcome back to Smart Senior Gardeners, where we prove that age, wisdom, and a little know-how create the best gardens without breaking your back or your budget. If you're new here, I'm so glad you found us because you're about to discover why smart gardeners get genuinely excited when autumn arrives. And to my returning viewers, thank you for coming back. You're part of a community that believes gardening should be enjoyable, affordable, and most importantly, easy on our bodies. Before we start, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. We share practical, senior-friendly gardening secrets every week that save you money and effort. Trust me, you don't want to miss what's coming next. All right, let's talk about why those leaves falling in your yard are basically garden gold. Nature's perfect system. Let me paint you a picture. Walk into any forest right now. Dig down past those top layers of leaves. What do you find? This incredible, almost black, sweet-smelling earth that's so fluffy you could sleep on it. Trees don't need fertilizer bags. They don't need someone coming around with amendments. They've been making their own perfect growing medium for millions of years. And they do it with one simple ingredient, their own fallen foliage. Now, the problem is if you just pile leaves on your garden, you're looking at waiting 2, maybe 3 years for them to break down properly. Most of us don't have that kind of patience or time. But what if I told you there's a way to shrink that timeline down to just a few months, with almost no physical effort required? That's exactly what we're doing today. What is leaf mold? This method is called leaf mold, but that name doesn't do it justice. It sounds like something you'd avoid, right? But professional gardeners and high-end nurseries treat this stuff like treasure. The process is so simple, it almost feels like cheating. And here's the best part for us senior gardeners. There's no heavy lifting, no constant turning, and no complicated steps to remember. Here's what makes this different from regular composting. When you compost, you're relying on bacteria that need heat, moisture, constant turning, and a balanced mix of materials. It's science, and it works, but it's also work. Leaf mold uses fungus instead, and fungus is way less demanding. It doesn't need heat. It doesn't need turning. It just needs leaves, a little moisture, and time. That's it. The result is something that holds moisture better than almost any soil amendment you can buy, improves soil structure like nothing else, and costs you exactly $0. Step by step, the easy method. Let me walk you through this step by step. If you can rake leaves, or better yet, have someone rake them for you, you can do this. Step 1. Gather your leaves. Any type works, but here's a pro tip. Mix them if you can. Oak leaves break down slower, but create incredible structure. Maple leaves decompose faster. Mixing gives you the best of both worlds. Avoid walnut and eucalyptus leaves, though. They release chemicals that can mess with other plants. Step 2. Choose your spot. Find a corner of your yard, preferably somewhere shaded. Why shade? Because moisture is your friend here, and the sun dries things out too fast. Choose a spot that's easy to access so you're not walking far or navigating difficult terrain. A spot near your garden beds is ideal. Step 3. Shred them, the easy way. Here's the trick that changes everything. Shred them first if possible. Now, I'm not suggesting you get out there and do this yourself. If you have a lawn service, ask them to mulch the leaves with their mower. If a family member mows your lawn, have them run over the leaves before raking. If you're still mowing yourself, one pass with a mulching mower does the job. This breaks leaves into smaller pieces, which speeds up decomposition dramatically. We're talking cutting your wait time in half. Step 4. Pile and moisten. Pile your shredded leaves in your chosen spot. Add moisture as you go, not soaking wet, but think of a wrung-out sponge. That's your target. If your leaves are already damp from rain, perfect. If they're bone dry, have someone hit them lightly with the hose as you pile them up. If you're finding this helpful so far, take a second to hit that like button. It helps other senior gardeners discover these budget-friendly methods. and drop a comment telling me what you usually do with your fallen leaves. I'd love to hear from you. Step 5. Contain or don't. You can contain this pile or leave it loose. A simple chicken wire circle keeps things tidy and holds moisture better. But honestly, I've made leaf mold in both contained piles and open heaps, and both worked fine. If bending and working with chicken wire sounds difficult, skip it. A loose pile works perfectly. The waiting game, the easy part. Now comes the hardest part of this whole process, waiting. But here's where it gets interesting for us. Unlike compost, you don't need to turn this. In fact, turning actually slows things down because you're disrupting those fungal networks doing all the work. Just let it sit. Check it every few weeks when you're out in the garden anyway. If the pile seems dry, add water. If you live somewhere rainy, you probably won't need to do anything. The fungi handling decomposition are incredibly efficient workers. They just need consistent moisture, and they'll transform those leaves into something beautiful. What's happening in that pile? Those white thread-like fungal strands are literally digesting the tough parts of leaves, the cellulose and lignin that make them rigid. As they work, the leaves darken, shrink, and turn into this crumbly, earthy material. In about 6 months, depending on your climate, you'll have usable leaf mold. After a full year, it'll be perfect, dark, rich, and with this incredible earthy smell that tells you it's packed with beneficial organisms. Why leaf mold is better than compost? Here's what makes this different from compost. Leaf mold is lower in nutrients. That might sound like a disadvantage, but stay with me. What it lacks in nitrogen and phosphorus, it makes up for in its superpower, water retention. This stuff can hold up to 500% of its weight in water. Let that sink in. If you've got sandy soil that dries out fast or clay soil that stays waterlogged, leaf mold fixes both problems. It improves soil structure better than anything else I've used. It creates spaces for air and water to move through soil. It feeds earthworms, which then create even more beneficial activity. And because it breaks down slowly, these benefits last for years, not months. How to use your garden gold. Let's talk about how to actually use this once it's ready. And remember, even partially decomposed leaf mold after 3 to 4 months is useful. Mix it into vegetable beds before planting. Your tomatoes, peppers, and squash will develop root systems that make your neighbors wonder about your secret. Use it as mulch around perennials and shrubs. It suppresses weeds while slowly feeding the soil beneath. And unlike wood mulch, you made it yourself for free. Blend it into potting mix. Commercial potting soil is expensive, but mixing leaf mold with regular garden soil creates a planting medium that rivals anything you'd buy. Starting seeds. Mix leaf mold with a bit of sand and compost. You've just created a seed-starting mix that costs pennies instead of dollars. Top dressing lawns. Spread a thin layer over your grass in fall. It'll work its way down, feeding soil life and improving your lawn without chemicals. Before we continue, if you haven't subscribed yet, please do it now. We're building a community of smart senior gardeners who refuse to believe great results require big spending or backbreaking work. Ring that bell so you never miss our money-saving tips. Insider tricks to speed things up. Want to speed this process up even more? Here are some tricks I've learned over the years. Add a handful of finished leaf mold or garden soil to your new pile. You're essentially inoculating it with the fungi that do the work. It's like a sourdough starter for leaves. Use rainwater or dechlorinated water. Chlorinated tap water can slow down fungal activity. Let tap water sit out overnight before using it on your pile, or better yet, use collected rainwater. Check your pile after 3 months. Even partially decomposed leaf mold is useful. The chunky stuff makes great mulch while it finishes breaking down. Make multiple piles. Start one in fall, another in spring when you're cleaning up lingering leaves. This gives you a continuous supply instead of waiting for one massive batch. Location matters. Against a north-facing wall or under trees keeps things naturally moist and speeds decomposition. Choose spots that are easy for you to access. Troubleshooting common issues. Let me address common problems because they will come up. Pile not breaking down. Check moisture. Squeeze a handful. If no water drips out, it's too dry. If water pours out, it's too wet. Adjust accordingly. Strange smell? Leaf mold should smell earthy and pleasant. If it stinks, you've got too much moisture and not enough air. Fluff it up a bit and let it dry slightly. Or ask a family member to help with this. Leaves matting together? This happens with whole leaves, especially when wet. That's why shredding matters. If you didn't shred them initially, just break up those mats when you notice them, or have someone do it for you. Not enough space? Make smaller batches in large garbage bags with holes poked for air. Shake them occasionally. It works, though it's slower than open piles. This is perfect for seniors with limited space or mobility. Why this matters beyond saving money. Here's why this matters beyond just saving money. Every bag of leaves sent to landfill is a missed opportunity. Those leaves break down in landfills and create methane, a greenhouse gas way worse than carbon dioxide. But in your garden, they're building soil, sequestering carbon, and creating habitat for beneficial organisms. You're also breaking an expensive cycle. Garden centers sell soil amendments because people need them. But if you're making your own high-quality material from waste, you're keeping that money in your pocket while building genuinely better soil than most commercial products offer. This is gardening the way it was done for centuries before the fertilizer industry convinced everyone they needed bottles and bags of everything. Our grandparents and great-grandparents knew this. Now you do too. Your action plan. Next time you see leaves falling, don't see yard waste. See free soil improvement. See moisture retention. See better harvests and healthier plants. See exactly what smart gardeners have known all along. And remember, you don't have to do all the physical work yourself. Get family members to help with the heavy raking and shredding. You provide the wisdom and direction. That's working smart, not hard. If this video changed how you think about those leaves in your yard, please share it with fellow gardeners who need these practical tips. Hit that like button to help YouTube show this to more people. And drop a comment telling me, what's your biggest garden expense? Because I guarantee we can find a way to reduce it without sacrificing results. Subscribe to Smart Senior Gardeners if you haven't already. We're proving every single week that age and wisdom create the best gardens, without the expense and exhaustion. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Keep growing smart.